have an email on this subject from Big Tony Style.
Big Tony Style.
Big Tony Style. Only style that matters.
Wants to know what's the best DLC pack or expansion you've ever played? I'm currently playing through I see MK and I think Mortal Kombat, but he means Mario Kart 8 DLC packs and 200cc mode, and I must say I'm thoroughly impressed how it has reinvigorated my interest in the game. Alton was just saying he agrees with Big Tony Style.
200cc is actually, I think it's just it's a free update. It's not even part of the DLC, so you don't have to buy into that to unlock that mode. The only way to get it, you have to get a cup. Third place or higher on every 150cc in the game, which is kind of hard if you're not that great at that game. But yeah, that is a great deal. Like we were talking about it before. The reason I love it is it gives me an excuse to go back to that game every few months and sort of revisit it and go, wow, this is probably one of the most perfect video games Nintendo's made, outside of the really bad battle mode in it, which is still inexcusable.
I like that combination of free and paid.
Yeah.
Like you get this, everybody gets this 200 mode, but there's also new courses that you got to buy, but they're really elaborate and huge.
Yeah, and they were out the same day, so it was sort of like it brings you in for 200,
Something
and
for
while you're
everybody.
there, you're like, hey, there's more stuff here. And a lot of the courses are great. They're remakes of old, like the ones on GBA, which like always looked bad, and now they're full 3D, like they look beautiful. So yeah, I think that's one of the best ways to handle it, because the core game is still fantastic, but if you want more stages, they're there for just a few bucks.
Mario Kart's way up there. For me, it's probably, I mean, I know there's better examples, but what's jumping into my head is Skyrim had really, really good, huge, elaborate DLC packs.
Yes.
An entire new giant landmass to explore, as if that's what that game needed.
Bethesda in general, their games, I feel like, Fallout as well.
So Skyrim's final, Vince, remind me, what's the final DLC pack called? Where you go to the island of Solstheim and...
nope, it's not in my head.
Anyway, that one is especially impressive because it adds a whole new quest line, but it not only does it add this new area to explore, but it's as densely packed as the rest of Skyrim is. So there's inns to go in and side quests to pick up and people to talk to, and dude's just hanging out that has his own little story that, like, what percentage of people are ever going to find this guy on the docks and talk to him? And it was like $15, and I'm like...
They did the same thing with Oblivion and Fallout 3, just these massive, massive sprawling add-ons that added entirely new explorable areas.
It's from like the era of expansion packs.
Yeah, and I like that because I feel like a lot of story DLC is way less common nowadays than I think something like multiplayer maps.
They usually fake it. It usually feels like stuff that was carved out of the main game and then put back in. Whether that's fair or not, that's how it feels, and Skyrim stuff did not feel that way.
I thought what they did for, what was it, Infamous? Last year or this year?
That was actually really cool. First
standalone, right?
Yeah, it was a standalone like package that was.
Became standalone, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically that lives in that same universe, but has you playing entirely different things.
It's different, totally different. It was one of the characters who was kind of like a side, not a side character, but she was, one of the characters you meet during the main game, and everyone kind of unanimously agreed that she was probably the most interesting character.
Yeah, because she's a crazy hoarder woman that lives in a billboard. She was great.
Who's kind of a sniper.
What's her name? Neon or whatever? Yeah.
Her name is Neon.
It's a video game.
The couple that always stand out to me are Undead Nightmare.
Yeah.
For Red Dead Redemption. Obviously. And then there were really good ones for Dishonored, where you do play as one of the bad guys from the main game.
Yeah, I guess like Lost in the Dam counts too, right? For GTA.
GTA's are really good. Wait, are we still getting GTA 5 story DLC? It's been so long.
Yeah, we heard a long time ago that they were doing that.
It's out on PC now, so maybe they're finally gonna.
Yeah, they probably wanted to get all of that out there.
If we're going to talk about story DLC, though, I think that Left Behind, for The Last of Us has to be part of that conversation.
Yeah, that was great. And that was the reason I don't really like story DLC a lot, because it just feels so small in comparison. Like actually physically the environments are so tiny. But I liked that because you're kind of revisiting an older environment. But from a different perspective. So, and it actually weaves in new environments and old environments, and it weaves right into the story, which was really smart of sort of being like, this is how you played this game as Joel, and now you're playing as Ellie from the flip side.
Provides a whole different context for that character too. Very, very, very powerful.
I think it's crazy that the first DLC big controversy that I remember is horse armor in Oblivion. Everyone, it became like a meme for years, horse armor. It still is. But now that's what people want. They're like, I want, like, let me pay $1 to customize my character.
It's so odd.
Like, I just want a cosmetic thing. I don't want to be able to pay to get ahead in the game. I just want to pay for something that looks cool. But back then, everyone gave them so much crap for it, but it's really flipped since
My
then.
friend called me a couple years ago, and he's like a kind of casual gamer, and he was just like, hey, I'm playing that. Have you played that game Godfather for 360?
Wow, that's a deep
And I'm like, yeah, the EA game.
Yeah, I
and
played
he's
that
like,
game too.
I'm like, I'm actually playing it on Wii now because someone had given me a copy on Wii, and it was like you could strangle people with the Wii remote. It was, it was pretty interesting. But that game was one of those like special edition sort of ports where it had everything in it, and they didn't really have a pay model to buy anything. So he was like, oh, did you get the Gatling gun or whatever? I'm like, yeah, it was really cool. I found it in this level. And he was like, I had to pay $4.99 for that. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, how many guns did you buy? And he's like, I bought all the extra guns in the game. And they were like a couple bucks each. He had spent like $20 or $30 on guns for like a movie-based game.
Wow.
And back then that shocked me. But nowadays it's like totally common. It happens all the time.
So he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's
He's
like,
the
who's
whale.
doing
He's
all
the
this
whale.
stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
was
the whale.
Yeah.
He had a tough time with the mission. And he was like, "I'll spend $5 to get out of this predicament right now." You know, like I do it on mobile all the time, where I'll be playing a game that's free, but it's $1 to get rid of ads, or it's $1 to like double the coins you're getting, or some dumb stuff like that.
Yeah.
Coin doublers and paying to get rid of ads are more reasonable to me
Yeah.
than other shenanigans on mobile.
Yeah, on your point though about the horse armor, real quick, it's totally true. That used to be something that people didn't care about at all, and I certainly still don't care
They
about.
hated it. They were so mad.
But then you look at a game like Dota 2 that literally survives off. That is the only thing they sell. They do not sell accelerators. They don't sell like get double XP. They don't do that stuff. They sell.
Why would I
cosmetic
spend
things.
money on this? It's pointless. It doesn't help me get ahead in the game. And now it's, why are you letting people spend money to get ahead in the game? This is baloney.
I mean, we were so mad about that we didn't notice how often it started happening everywhere, and it even started happening on like the Xbox Live Avatar Marketplace, where it wasn't even for your game. It was just for like the guy that's in the corner while you're watching Netflix has a Star Wars shirt on because you paid for it.
The famous example is, I think it was $3 to get a wall from Gears of War.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because the cover-based mechanics of Gears of War. Yeah, I think that's right.